Hello.
So what is up, guys? Triple G here, back with another Borderlands 3 video, and today is a huge day for Borderlands 3. We're going to give you some great news, we're going to give you some not so great news, but the great news definitely outweighs the great news, and the bad news only kind of is for Zane mains. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week, and otherwise, let's get straight into this video. So let's start off with the good news. The good news is we are finally going to get the ability to re-roll the anointments, and it's Crazy Earl that's going to allow us to do it. Borderlands 3 is adding 2 new machines to the game on April the 8th with the raid boss. One is going to be Crazy Earl's re-roll machine, and the other is Maurice's black market vending machine. Both of which will be available to all players at no additional cost. So even though it's part of the DLC, you can still have it in the base game. You're still going to be able to roll these anointments and have this black market vending machine as well. Crazy Earl's reroll machine is a huge boon to Vault Hunters looking to get the most out of their gear in exchange for some iridium. Crazy Earl's contraption will replace the existing anointment on a specific item. Crazy Earl's contraption will replace the existing anointment on a specified item. Anointments are powerful effects that can unlock the full potential of your character's build. By re-rolling the anointments on your favorite pieces of gear, you can create the most optimized loadouts. What they have done here, guys, is removed an element of RNG. Perfect. Let's just hope that all the anointment pool is there, because sometimes with the seasonal events, not all the anointment pool was there. So let's hope that they are all there. As for Maurice's black market vending machine, all we know is it is a vending machine, offers top tier legendary loot, and will be hidden in a new location within the base game each week. It'll be up to the Borderlands community to track down Maurice's black market vending machine each week and see what he's got. That's going to be really fun to try and find, running around all the maps to try and find exactly where it is this item is. In addition to all of this, they are actually bringing back the event, Bring Me the Iridium, allowing players that might not have huge Iridium reserves to go out and farm some. We have a video on the channel if you want to talk about the best farming locations, but there's going to be tons of Iridium around next week. So you're going to be able to get yourself raid boss ready, because that's going to cost Iridium, and everyone's going to start re-rolling their perfect items. So it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see that. So Borderlands is also releasing a hotfix today, and some of which are nerfing things and some of which are boosting things, but we'll go through those in detail. Here's what they said. As we continue to test around the upcoming raid content with the director's cut, we've made some balance changes in today's update to Borderlands 3, where we'll be able to confirm community suspicions of huge outliers in damage being dealt. We have adjusted various gear, skills, and mayhem scaling to prepare players for the launch of the raid boss and the director's cut add-on that will be dropping next week. We're also continuing to monitor player feedback, and some of these are quite dramatic. Let's talk about what they're changing in this week's hotfix first. So they're going to activate the Show Me Iridium, which is going to run for a week. They are preventing artifacts from dropping for players before they unlock at level 27 in Arms Race. So you can't get an artifact until you've killed Graveward normally, but you were still able to get them dropped, which kind of seemed pointless in Arms Race. Increase the chance for legendary gear to appear in the golden chest on Sanctuary 3, which is nice. I've never used a golden key, but if you're on a playthrough, now you're going to have a chance to get a legendary. Lowered the amount of damage being passed along to passive skills that use mayhem scaling in Mayhem a 6 and above. This is huge. We're going to have to work out exactly how this affects certain builds. For example, the clone would get times 31 damage by mayhem scaling. Moses firing the Skag's Den would get a ton of damage through mayhem scaling. So this is going to tone everybody down and make some of the pinnacle content even more harder. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this one plays out. Passive skills that have mayhem scaling enabled have created very spiky moments in our damage pipeline. These spikes are far outside the bounds of normal damage. Balancing content around these build spikes would have removed build diversity and forced players into very specific and specialized builds. That is counter to our goals of always increasing diversity, so we've changed the scaling accordingly. Now this one's going to hurt Zane mains. They have implemented a cap of 2 to commitment. We all knew a cap was coming. I just didn't see it being this big. I honestly didn't. Implemented a stacking cap of 2, remember, on commitment, where we used to get 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 stacks. So it's a big nerf on commitment stacks. Here's what Gearbox said. The intent for this skill was always to stack as many times as Zane's other kill skills, which was twice. That's why we've got 2. When its increased stacking was discovered last fall, we determined that we would leave it as it was because it wasn't causing catastrophic issues. As part of the balancing for upcoming content, however, we've deemed it necessary for the stack to be capped as originally designed. So basically, they've tested it against the raid boss and Zane was destroying it. So this is the solution they've come up with. They've decreased the amount of bonus on the gunner's short fuse skill from 75 to 50%. Increased the damage done by skills using the Siren's face cast and face slam. Face cast damage has been increased by 5%. Deliverance bonus has been increased by 5%. Reverberation bonus increased by 10%. Tandava bonus increased by 10%. Face slam damage increased by 10%, fracture damage increased by 35%, and downfall bonus increased by 10%. So Mara's getting a significant boost to a lot of her action skill damage from today. Based on the community feedback, we are adding some power back into Mara's action skills to offset some of the damage that has been removed from specific pieces of gear. We'll continue to monitor her and we'll continue to make more changes as needed. They've also lowered the damage bonus on the Guardian perk Groundbreaker. They've also lowered the damage bonus on the Guardian perk Groundbreaker from 25% to 10%. I really enjoyed Groundbreaker. I didn't feel like it was breaking the game, but it was very strong, so I can kind of see where they're going with that one. Next, we're on to the weapon adjustments, and there's one name on this list that it needed it. It's going to hurt a lot of people, so get ready, guys. The Creeping Death has increased the reload explosion damage. Amazing Grace has increased its weapon damage. Mutant has a slightly reduced recoil rate and increased its weapon damage. Pain is Power increased weapon damage. Satisfaction increased weapon damage. Tri-Bolt, please be good. I've never really used it. Increased weapon damage. Plumage increased weapon damage. The Freeman increased weapon damage. And the Face Puncher decreased weapon damage. There it is. The Face Puncher has finally got its nerf. So we'll see how much it's been decreased by, because, you know, Amara can still use her melee scaling and still do a ton of damage. It'll be just interesting to see what the other classes are then be able to do with it, because most of the time all Vault Hunters could use the Face Puncher. So it's going to be really interesting. So as I said at the start of this video, some great news, anointment rerolls, and some random black market machine that's going to have god rolls in. Absolutely amazing. Some Zane nerfs, some Amara buffs. It's what the community needed and what the community wanted. So, you know, as a Zane main myself, you know, it hurts. It hurts. But Zane's still incredibly strong. He still has a ton of survivability. We're still going to be able to do a ton of damage with him. So I'm really looking forward to what Gearbox see as a balanced raid boss. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week. And otherwise, I'll catch you on the flip.